Hi everybody, I'm Sable Danielle, a human design coach and sound healer, and today I'm here to talk about human design, and we're going to focus on what our centers are. I'm going to start a series about what our centers say, so I'm going to break down each center, but today we're going to go over what centers are so you know exactly what I'm talking about when I go over each specific center. So essentially each center there are 9 energetic hubs within your body graph chart, and you'll see they are represented by the different shapes right here, and they connect the 36 energetic channels in your body graph chart, which create a unique flow of energy that represents you and your human design. So like I said, there are 9 centers, and the first one is the head center, Ajna, the identity center or G center, the will center, ego center or heart center, the solar plexus center, the sacral center, the spleen center, the root center, and I think that's all 9 of them. I'll double check and I'll put them on the screen just to make sure if I missed any. And each center has a specific purpose. They're represented by the different shapes on your body graph. So right now, if you look at your body graph, you'll probably just see a bunch of different shapes and colors, but they all mean something. The colors mean something and the shapes mean something. So the colors on your chart, the colors represent the definition in your chart. The red means something and the black means something, but we're not going to go over that specifically today. Just know that anywhere that you see color on your chart, that is called definition, and that means that that's the energy that you were naturally born with. That's the energy that shows up reliably and consistently within your chart. And so your centers can be defined, or within each center there are numbers called gates. They can also be defined even if the shape/center is not defined on your chart. And so where you see that, that means that that's the energy that you give off, and those can be represented by like your characteristics, some of your personality, the energy that you give off to people, some of your habits, some of your thought cycles. All of that is due to the energy and definition within your chart. And so there are 2 pressure centers, the head center and the root center, and they move the energy towards your awareness centers, which we'll go over in a second. The head center pressures you to know things, to think things, to ask questions. And the root chakra or the root center pressures you to do things in order to like stay alive. As we all know, the root chakra, root center represents like survival and foundation. So it gives you the energy to do things to sustain life. And it gives momentum to move things forward. And so I said the pressure centers, the root center and the head center, move the energy to the awareness centers, and there are 3 of those. And the awareness centers are the spleen center, which is also about your survival awareness. The spleen center is about your intuition, and it helps you kind of get a sense of like what feels safe to you. So we'll go over that in a specific video about the spleen center, but I know I just mentioned that the root center is also about survival, but so is the spleen, but in different ways. The Ajna center represents cognitive awareness, and the solar plexus center represents emotional awareness and social awareness. And then there is one manifestation center, which is the throat center. All of the energy in your chart is being moved towards your throat center for manifestation purposes, expression, communication, to bring things to life. And then there is the identity center, which is also called the G center. It's also called the magnetic monopole because it's the only center in your chart that has one single magnet. So every other center has basically duality, energetic duality. The G center or identity center does not. There's only one pole for that I guess, for energy, and it receives energy basically. The magnetic monopole, the G center, pulls energy to you. It attracts things to you. It doesn't really repel. So the purpose of the G center, the identity center, is for purpose, direction, and it gives you a sense of self. And then there are 4 motor centers, and these are the centers that help the energy move to bring things. It gives things momentum and to bring things into manifestation. So the root center is a motor center, and it gives you the momentum to keep going. The sacral center gives you the creative, life, sustainable energy to create and do things. The heart center gives you a kind of a selfish type of energy, willpower. It's about yourself, and it's supposed to be. So selfish doesn't necessarily mean bad in this instance. And the solar plexus center is the motor center, and it gives you emotional awareness, it gives you spiritual awareness, and it also is the center that provides intimacy and makes you desire intimacy within your relationships. So as I mentioned earlier, there are colors on your chart, and the colors mean either you have definition, you're born with that energy, or you do not have definition. It's undefined or open, which means that you're looking for that energy. You were not born with it. And so the definition is the natural aura that you give off. You don't necessarily recognize those things easily within yourself because these are your natural born traits. They come easily to you. You don't feel like it's hard. So something that someone else may really admire about you that comes really easily to yourself, they may point out and you don't think it's a big deal, but it's a big deal to them because maybe they don't have that defined in their center. So it's not something that they can easily do. Also, defined centers or defined energy kind of sort of repels energy, because if it's defined, the energy is already there. It's not looking for the energy. Its job essentially is to give energy to undefined people or undefined centers or the other undefined energetic spaces. So where you see the color on your centers, where you see definition on your centers, that's what you're giving off. And then the open centers are the white centers, the white shapes on your chart, and those are your vulnerable areas. Those are your trigger points. Those are your growth areas in life. They're flexible, they're fluid, they are dependent on your environment, the energies within the environment around you. So if you have an open center, you're looking to have that energy filled by someone with a defined center so that the energy can flow fluidly. And so if you have someone around you that has definition, let's say in your in their head center, and you don't, then that energy will be like filled when you're around that person. And then when they're not around, it'll be like a little less. It won't be as easy to maybe remember what you were going to say, or you're just going to still be looking for that energy once that person leaves. That's why it's fluid and flexible depending on whoever is in your space. Also, open centers amplify energy. So the centers that are taking in and receiving energy, they're not just receiving and taking in, they also amplify and make those energies stronger. So people with open centers are also more sensitive to the energies around them. And then there is an undefined center, which essentially is the same thing as an open center. However, the open centers have absolutely no color within them. The gates aren't defined, the center's not defined. But undefined center is open, where it's white. However, it has at least one defined gate. So it'll be a white center with one of the numbers or gates colored in. And so that makes it defined. And so essentially open and undefined centers are the same. However, you have a little bit of consistent energy within an undefined center, whereas an open center is completely vulnerable. You have zero energy defined within that center. And so now that we know exactly what centers are and what they do and what roles they may have, we're going to go over our throat center in the next video, so make sure you stay tuned. If you're ready to dive deeper into your own personal human design, I offer personal energy reports where you'll get 25 plus pages of information, a report all about the energy that you were born with. I'll go over your energy type, all of your centers, all of your gates. I'll go over your profile, like all the ins and outs of human design, so that you know the energy that came true to you, that you were born with. But if you would like to work one-on-one with me, I also offer relationship appointments so that you can compare charts, or individual appointments so that you can just work on yourself. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for being here today. I hope you are a little bit more familiar with what centers are and what they do. Stay tuned, because next video, we talk about the throat center. The throat center, all about manifestation, your voice, communication, expression. What does your throat center say? So don't miss out. I'll check you guys out next week. I'll be here next week. Peace, guys.